still watching the Wednesday edition of New Dawn from Ogun State Television, the first one of the Wednesday editions for the year 2023. Right here now, we have our guest, and we're going to be looking at a statement, a comment by Mr. President, and we're going to be looking at everything in full as we are getting down to the end of the tenure of this administration. The President said he has tried his best, and over 7 years now, getting to 8 years, everything is there for everyone to see. To help us look at that statement critically, we have a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic right here, Ogun East Senatorial District, representing Ogun East Senatorial District, Honorable Leko Mustafa. We want to welcome you, sir, to New Dawn this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, sir. Now, that statement by Mr. President, he has tried his best. I remember the chief commander sang a song. He said, "Do your best and leave the rest." So, has he done his best? It's just about 4 or 5 months to go. Less than 5 months, about 5 months, less than 5 months actually. So, your perspective, sir?
Well, thank you very much. I want to believe that President Buhari has done his best. He said it, and I also want to believe that he's done his best. You know, in every statement that we make, it depends on if you are convinced in saying what you are saying. And I'm sure the President is convinced that he has done his best. As human beings, of course, we might not all be satisfied with what he's been able to deliver. But relatively, if you look at what he's been able to do in the last 7 years, you want to agree with me that he has done quite a lot. It's like someone coming from ground zero, and you've now found yourself in a fairly comfortable position, a comfortable zone. If you look at the various landmark projects and policies of government, you will know that the President has really done well. Except if you want us to go into specifics, there are a few things that one can really talk about. And if you look at them critically, you will agree with me that it's done fairly well. You know that before Buhari came, there was nothing called, our railway system has completely collapsed. Now there are parts of Nigeria that you can travel to, very smooth travels in the train. If you go from Abuja to Kaduna, unfortunately in recent times we have had issues of banditry and so on, disrupting the free flow of the railway system. But beyond that, it has really done well that going into Kaduna and coming to Abuja has been very smooth, and people have taken advantage of that in that corridor. And if you look at the Lagos-Ibadan railway, it's been very functional. I know quite a number of people who now live in Abeokuta, and they work in Lagos. They go to Lagos and come back every day. So it's part of the progress that is made. For a very long time before he came, nothing like that was happening. So it's one of the things. It's one of the areas that we need to commend the administration of President Buhari. And then one major thing that I just read about in the online this morning when I was coming is about the controversy of on this Niger bridge, the second Niger bridge. This second Niger bridge has been a recurring decimal in the books of various administrations in Nigeria for quite some time. And to God be the glory, President Buhari has made the dream a realized dream for Nigerians in general, and for our people in the southeast and south in particular. Just before Christmas, that second Niger bridge was open for the use of the people, and I was happy watching a lot of our people commending the president making use of the bridge. I was watching a lot of them on the television, and they were all happy that this second Niger bridge has become not only a dream, but a dream that has come true. So it's I can go on and on and on to talk about some of the things that is done. Are we going to start talking about the school feeding? Before now, I don't know, maybe in the colonial days, maybe of course I wasn't born during the colonial days. It might be better at that time, but today nothing can be better, particularly for school children who have been enjoying the dividends of democracy via the school feeding system that was established during the tenure of President Buhari. Or is it the trader money that has been extended to quite a reasonable number of our people in the markets, in their trading outfits and so on. A lot of other support system established by the government, like the NISAL, agric loan, commercial facilities, extended to quite a number of people. Some of them I know them, some of them I was able to facilitate for my people. Even within my own constituency, I've been able to facilitate more than 1,000 beneficiaries got loans ranging from 3 million, 2 million, 500,000 and so on. And I know that it has had some impacts in their lives. So quite a number of things has been done, but of course there's no way you can say you have done your best on anything and everybody will be happy, because it's not everybody that has benefited. Okay, well, so it's a continuous process, and I know that if the incoming government of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is going to build on this, I'm sure Nigeria will be better for it. When you say incoming, the election has not held. Yeah, that is my hope and prayer as a member of APC. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe Nigerians had high expectations, because some would say economically, given the level of inflation, debt profile of Nigeria, and even security-wise, some people believe, or some Nigerians believe, his best is not good enough.
Well, I said that earlier. It depends on your perception. But let me tell you that you are talking of inflation, you are talking of insecurity, but these are not limited to Nigeria. They are not inflation is not limited to Nigeria. It's a global phenomenon. It's everywhere in the world. It's everywhere. When you look at it critically, our case is not as bad as so many other countries in the world in terms of inflation, in terms of banditry. Banditry is not limited to Nigeria. There are so many other countries, even in Africa, where bandits now share governance with the legitimately elected government in those countries. So our own is somehow manageable. It's being managed by government, and then you know that in the last few months it's been better than the previous years, and I know that it will always be better.
But some also want to look at, okay, when the president came in 2015, everybody was the new sheriff is in town, was going to fight corruption. Can you really say corruption has been really dealt a big blow?
Yeah, well, I think, yes, corruption has been really dealt a big blow. It has been dealt a big blow because in the last 4 or 5 years, the number of convictions secured by the EFCC and other anti-corruption agencies are more than 10 times the number of convictions secured by in the previous administrations. But of course, I want to believe that the government underestimated the level of corruption in the country. That was why they were promising everyone and us that they were going to put a stop to it immediately they come to power. But you know that when you want to drive a thief away, they will always find a way of creating new methods. So I think that is one of the factors militating against the immediate efforts of government to get rid of corruption. But by and large, they have done very well. They have gone more than halfway to really rid the country of corruption. Now a lot of people are afraid of getting their hands into dirty things because they know that as soon as they do that, someone is watching them from the back to apprehend them and get them punished for getting involved in corruption. They have got relatively. I think it should be a pass mark for government in the area of fighting corruption. But because it is very big, Nigeria is a big country. Everything about Nigeria is big. The game of corruption is also very big. So before you can feel the impact, something that people have been engaging in for decades. So it will take a very long time for somebody to now stop them all at once. It's a gradual process, and I think we are on the way to getting rid of corruption in the country.
Well, Senator, still on economy, let's talk about a debt profile, which seems to be quite worrisome. I mean, this administration has really, if you look at the level of borrowing under this administration, is quite huge. And some economists, some experts have called for caution.
Well, I want to agree with you in the area of borrowings. It's really worrisome because if we don't take time, we might end up spending every money that we have on debt servicing. But that is not to say that as a nation we must exist. And if the only way to exist is to find a way of supporting our resources or our limited resources, then it has to be done. Even America, as we speak, they borrow. The government of America today is run with borrowed funds. But then we should limit the level of borrowing so that every other aspect of governance will not collapse totally, because it will collapse if we end up spending all our money on debt servicing.
And when you now look at, closely related to borrowing, when you look at fuel, before this administration came in, now people are buying fuel at very exorbitant prices, and people are asking. In fact, some have even said, "Okay, give us back corruption, and let's have our life as we used to have it." And would you score government high in terms of petrol subsidy, in terms of diesel? The price of diesel now has gone beyond the reach.
800 now.
So the question now is, would you say government has really done well in that area?
Well, in the area of, are you talking about subsidy or petrol or the availability of petroleum? Everything together. Well, it is a common thing. It is a common saying by everyone in the country that this subsidy regime is completely embroiled in the corruption. Well, I am not part of the subsidy program, so it will be difficult for me to now say yes, it is a fraudulent exercise or whatever it is. But the only thing I think government can do for us as an oil producing nation, I've listened to the side of government arguing that it is it's a global, the oil is a global product. Whatever they sell in other parts of the world, that the prices that we are selling here is still relatively cheaper, because if you go to other parts of the world, it is like 10 times the price of what we sell in Nigeria, and so on and so forth. To me, that's not a tenable excuse, because we are an oil producing country. So as an oil producing country, we should, I mean, it's like your mother selling either gari or eba or something. You will first of all eat gari to the fullest before they sell to other people.
At a good price.
So at a good, yes, even almost free. So in that situation, I think government must find a way of, they must devise a means of getting petroleum products available to our people at a price that everybody will be comfortable with. And that's the only way they can achieve that, is to stop the importation of fuel, put their own refinery in place, so that when they get the crude, they process locally and they sell to the people locally. We cannot continue to compare. I'm sorry. We cannot continue to compare.
edition of New Dawn, and right here, right in the studio, we still have the distinguished senator representing Ogun East Senatorial District, Honorable Lekon Mustafa. Just before we had that break, we were looking at petrol, we were looking at fuel, we were looking at subsidy, we were looking at some of the challenges, and the question now is, well, you said, okay, one thing I picked from what you said is, okay, maybe the neighboring countries are not non-producing, non-oil producing countries, so the states they are reaping, from our own largesse, as it were, or defrauding us, as it were. Now the question is, why can't, this is 7 years after, why haven't we been able to work the refinery and even power? I remember the former Lagos State governor when he said, any government that cannot fix power within a certain time is not serious.
Within 6
so
months.
Can we rate this administration high in these areas?
Have we dropped the issue of fuel?
No, we're taking everything together now. I wanted to just compound.
Well, like I was saying, I said that I support the idea that government should provide petroleum products to our people at a very reasonable cost. I don't agree with that theory that because oil is a global product, therefore whatever they pay in America, we also must pay in Nigeria. No, we are two different countries with different backgrounds and different environments. People in Nigeria do things under very tense and difficult situations. So government should find a way to cushion the effect of most of the hardships that we're experiencing today. And that can be achieved because if the refineries are working, I know that fuel will be available to our people at very reasonable prices. And that's the only thing they can do. Even if that is what they can achieve to help our people, so be it. Because you cannot, as oil producers, begin to suffer like those who are not producing oil. So that is that. In the area of power, I happen to know that it may be slow, but at least there has been some improvements. There's been some improvements because the megawatts that we produced in the past, today we produce higher megawatts. But don't forget that the population grows every day. So whatever increase that we have experienced in the area of megawatts produced is being swallowed by the very sharp rise and increase in our population. That is one of the reasons that we're having these problems. You know that if a child is sick and has lost some weight, you cannot feed that child to come back to that same weight in one day. So that is exactly what we are experiencing. I know that with the very drastic measures that has been taken to improve our power generation system, and of course the improvement that is being envisaged and then undertaken in the power distribution sector, I'm sure within the next few years we will almost be getting out of this power problem that we have. For sometimes we had that power generation is not the problem now, but the distribution of power has been the major problem, major challenge that we have had. Well, maybe because they still distribute power through the cables and so on, and then vandalization of those power lines and so on across the country is also contributing to the very short supply of power across the country. But I know that as soon as technology is advancing, I'm sure the distribution of power will also get better. So when you were talking about someone saying that any country that cannot fix power in how many months? 6 months?
6 months, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was, at the time the man was saying it, he wasn't in government.
So it's easier to say something.
Yes, maybe. I mean, he might be speaking based on the available information or facts available to him. But I know that after getting into office, he will probably have seen other factors that would not allow those things to work at that time. I'm not holding brief for him, but I just suspect that he wouldn't ordinarily have made such a statement with intentions of deceiving the people. He must have said it based on the information available to him at that time. And then when he now faced the realities of the situation, he had to change his position. And then there's nothing we can do about that because he wasn't, he didn't have access to government records or government books to be able to determine what exactly could be done at that particular time.
Okay, well, Senator, still on power, I think that there seems to be a blame game, in the power sector. I've spoken to stakeholders in that sector, and you see the discourse blaming the GenCos. Say, no, it's not their fault. The GenCos are not generating enough, while the GenCos will say, no, they are generating enough. But you talked about, population, and South Africa, for instance, they generate over 35,000 megawatts, and they are not as populated as Nigeria. They're not up to 100 million.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will generate up to 10,000 megawatts. So it seems to be going. There seems to be this back and forth. At times you think, oh, power has improved. Months after, you start hearing stories of the water level has reduced, it has risen, and all this. So why is power such a conundrum?
Well, I don't want to compare Nigeria with South Africa. South Africa has been managed forever by the white people. So it is what they inherited from the white people that they are just managing. What they are doing is just management. They are not generating. I mean, they are not operating like we do in Nigeria. Nigeria has been an indigenous country for more than 60 years. So South Africa, we can only pray for them that they will be able to manage what was left for them by the white people. I don't want to talk too much about them, but I can tell you that Nigeria, in all aspects of life, Nigeria is better than South Africa.
All right. Well, now let's come back to the issue. I have tried my best. Some people think that is too positive a statement to make. But then just like you said, maybe there are some indices. So would you say, in all honesty, that the president has tried his best?
But he said it.
He said it.
He said it.
He said, that's why we're doing an overview now, because you could say something.
He said it, and he's in the best position to say it.
Yeah, no, you could say it.
Yes,
he is right to say it.
In every situation, whatever you say is relative. It depends on what target that you have set for yourself.
Okay, but from the overview now, from the holistic view, can you say, Mr. President, I clap for you?
Well, he has done fairly well.
Okay.
He's done fairly well. I mean, if you look at the size of Nigeria, if you look at the diversity, if you look at the kind of challenges that we face every day in Nigeria, you would want to agree with me that the man has done fairly well, at least in being able to hold Nigeria together. Okay. In being able to hold Nigeria together. Nigeria is a very complex country to govern, very complex, and if this man has been able to govern Nigeria with all the challenges, with all the oppositions, with all the with all the problems that we have, both genuine and human created, okay. It's unfortunate that nobody will clap for him now. Nobody will clap for him. But after leaving office, okay, when you begin to now look at what everybody has done, given the circumstances surrounding the period that they governed, yeah, then you do
that's where the issue of pardon comes in.
We are in Nigeria, and we are playing politics.
Okay.
It is very difficult. At any point in time, if you are a politician and you are in a particular public office, there must be people looking at your mistakes, watching out for mistakes or errors from you. So there's no way your opponent will stand up and say, yes, these people have saved, they have saved so much for us, I will thank them. No, they will never thank you. Even if they know that what you have saved is good for the country, they will say, no, why would they go and remove that money and put it in this other area? It is because that is where their interest lies.
Okay.
They are also defending their interest. So it's people can say anything they like, but as much as possible, what we are doing it in the best interest of our people and in the best interest of Nigeria.
Well, Senator, talking about cutting our costs, a report went viral last week, and it says Senate proposes 376 new agencies. Sean's Orosai reports. I know that the Orosai report is anchored on, okay, why can't we merge, similar MDAs and all that? So it became confusing that why 376 new agencies when we should be perhaps merge some of these agencies.
You are a journalist, even though you practice your own journalism in the media side of journalism, Abi? You know what people call sensational journalism. That is just that is mere propaganda. Do you have a list of those 376 agencies?
People will say that
they have I also read the news, but I went through it. I opened every page that I could open on the line. I couldn't see one name out of the 376 agencies that they're talking about.
No, some people will.
It's just mere speculation. Where are the 376 agencies? What are the names of the agencies? Do you have the names?
So are you saying this is not true?
It's not true. It's not true.
But some people would say that if somebody stole 20 million naira and you want to get the truth out of him, don't tell him he stole 20 million.
You increase it.
Tell him he stole 100 million.
You say no, it's not up to that.
And then he will now
say it's not okay.
Maybe that was what maybe it was not up to 360 something. Maybe
it's not about 376.
Maybe it's about 100 or something.
Okay, so you are now asking me to say that it is not up to that.
No, I'm just giving. I'm not making any.
Well, nothing like that. Nothing like it's just that whatever anybody is saying in that direction is just the figment of that person's imagination. The system cannot support such creations. 376 agencies. How can the system support it? It's not possible.
Now,
it's not possible.
Let's now look at the main issue here now. What areas would you have preferred government did more, particularly over this past seven years going to?
Well, thank you very much. I would have preferred that government did more in the area of infrastructure and transportation.
But that seems to be the strength of the administration.
Yes, it is the strength. It is the strength because in the past nothing has happened in those areas.
Okay.
That is why it is the strength. But because it has been lacking for so long, that is why we should appreciate the work that has been done in the last 7 years.
Okay.
But talking seriously, those are the areas that I think government should have concentrated more.
Okay.
Because if we do that, it will help the economy. It will help everything that we are talking about today. And then I also I would have been happier if government has really embraced public-private partnership more in their undertakings.
Okay.
Because a lot of investors all over the world are playing with idle funds to invest in different parts of the world. And Nigeria, because of our size, is a very fertile ground for foreign investors. Okay. If we have the necessary infrastructure and the laws in place to encourage them. Okay. Look at the railways, for example. Yeah. There's no reason why government should continue to award contracts on railways. What they need to do is just to provide the enabling environment.
Yeah.
And then maybe put up an international advert that Nigeria, with so population, is interested in getting investors for the provision of railways across the country. You will see how people will be scrambling to be part of it.
Okay. So
because our population will support whatever investment anybody brings into Nigeria. Government has no reason spending money on railways. That's why it has been very slow. Because we have so many competing areas of development that we need to channel the little resources available to government to. So that is why it's been a bit slow. But of course, I can say clearly that it has been better than it was in the past. That is why it is the strength of government today, infrastructure and rail transport.
Well, Senator, our time is fast spent on this segment, but you are the campaign DG of Dr. Abiodun's second term in office, and the campaign will start tomorrow. What will this be anchored on?
Well, you live in Ogun State. You have seen how evenly our governor has distributed programs, projects, structural development programs across the state. You will agree with me that it's every part of the state that has been touched. That is our number one selling point. There's no part of the state that will say that they have not seen any sign of government presence in their immediate environment, or in most cases within their community. So we are going to that is one of the things that we are really going to sell to the people, that this person has been able to do so and so in all parts of the state in the last 4 years, despite the turbulence and the distractions. Particularly where, if you look at COVID has taken more than half of the 4 years of governance, and despite that, a lot has been achieved. So much has been achieved. So, but I think by the time we start campaigning, I think you'll be encouraged, and you'll be encouraged to also campaign for us.
All right, but we are not supposed to take sides here, but...
I'm not saying you should take sides, but at least you can, when you see something good, you can say it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in saying something that is good. It is not, we should take away sentiments. We should face the reality. We should, a situation where you have 10 people waiting to be fed, and only 1 or 2 of them is fed. 8 people will be hungry. But now that, instead of giving the whole 1 bag of rice to just one out of 10, 1 or 2 out of 10, you are now sharing it to the 10 people. Then everybody will be happy and be encouraged. You can only encourage that person to do more. You cannot encourage someone that is not satisfying you to do more. But this person has been able to touch all parts of the state. All government projects that were abandoned are being completed. That is governance. If you come into office and you don't touch what you met on ground just because someone started it and has not completed it, and you abandon it and you want to start doing other things, then you are not a good administrator. What the governor Abiodun has been doing is to complete all projects that he met on ground. So that is a sign of someone who is really ready to work. Apart from completing those ones that he met on ground, he has also started and completed a lot of landmark projects across the state. So while we are campaigning, we want to implore you to also help, even though you cannot campaign on the TV, you can also help us campaign to your neighbors in your community, that, well, what we have seen in this government is consistency and a sense of patriotism, because they are not allowing the investments of the past to go into ruins or into waste. They are completing all abandoned projects. They are initiating new ones, and a lot of programs are in the pipeline. Right. And within the next few weeks, some of them will be let out for people to know the plans of government for the future. And we are praying that by the grace of God, in the second term of Governor Abiodun, he will do more than the ones that he has done in the last 3.5 years, despite the challenges of COVID and and other human factors.
Actually, we must give it to this administration, because when you talk about COVID, a substantial portion
of the
something. And we want to thank you very much. So we can say, like President Buhari has done, the governor has tried his best.
The governor has done very well.
Okay. He has not tried his best. He has done
very well, yes.
So I want to thank distinguished Senator of East Senatorial District, Honorable Lekon Mustafa, for coming on the set of New Dawn this morning to give an overview of Mr. President's statement that he has tried his best. And I think you have tried your best, Senator. So that's the segment now. We're going to take another break. When we come back, there will be other issues that will bring on the front burner. Stay with us.